Minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. In this video lecture, let us discuss chapter 3 on systems design, activity-based costing. And we are now in module 02. Let us proceed. Our learning objective is to compute activity rates for an activity-based costing system, or ABC. So this module is about 2 pages long, but we may do it for some time because you need to bring out your calculator so that you can do it as we explained. You can verify and practice. Okay, I'll give you time to get your calculator, or you can pause the video. Okay, let's go. Here is an example. The ABC project team at Comtech, Comtech is the company, ABC project team is the department, has developed the following basic information, meaning they have the recording of this. They record the data and then come up with this summary. So in our point of view, this data are what we call given. They are given data and we will solve the problem. So what do we mean by solve the problem? We will compute the overhead. So like this. You can record overhead rates, activity rates, overhead rates for each activity. So that is our point. So let us solve the problem by computing its activity rates. What is the rate of each of the following activity? So something like that. Okay, let's come back here. And you will notice in the first column, you have activity and activity measures. So there are how many? 1, 2, 3, there are 6. We already shown this example previously, but let us repeat. Activity is labor related. What is the activity measure? Direct labor hours. If the activity is machine related, activity measure machine hours. Meaning of activity measure, we can count the machine related activity cost by computing the total machine hours. That is what we mean by that. For example, number 3, machine setup. How do we compute machine setup? Count the total setup. How many setups are recorded? So, then activity, production orders, number 4. How to measure? Count the number of orders. And the number 5, parts administration, count the number of parts. And the general factory, that is machine hours. So what are the given? Estimated overhead cost, meaning how much is the estimated for one period or 1 year. Okay, so 800 for labor related, $800,000. Okay, so for machine related, 2,100,000. Machine setup, 1,600,000. Production order, 3,150,000. Parts administration, 350,000. And general factory, 2 million. Okay, so with estimated total overhead cost of $10 million. Okay, so this activity and activity measure can be broken down into what? Into expected activity. Okay. So the second column is the cost, and the next three columns are the expected activity. What do you mean by expected activity? That is the activity measures. So, meaning the 500 there is actually the direct labor cost. 500,000 direct labor cost. Okay, or direct labor hours. And the 1 million there for the number 2, 1 million under the column total. The second one is 1 million. The third one is 4,000. The fourth one is 1,200. The fifth one is 700. And the sixth is 1 million. For example, the third one. What do you mean by 4,000 total? That is, we had 4,000 set up. We recorded for 1 year that there are 4,000 set up. And this total can actually broken down into two separate products, DVD product and CD product. Okay. So 500,000, that is 100,000 plus 400,000, that is equal. So that is a total. So for example, for the fourth one, production order, 1,200 is the total. That is broken down into 800 for DVD and 400 for CD. And what do you mean by that? Production order. So 800 orders of DVD and 400 orders of CD, meaning there are plenty of buyers of DVD rather than CD of our brand, from our brand. Okay, so meaning to say our number one product is DVD. Okay, our number one product is DVD because it has many buyers, 800 units, 800 orders. Okay, so let us compute the activity rates. How do we compute the activity rates? So cost divided by activity measure. So let us go to the next. Bring out your calculator. So following activity rates. So the same given under the second column, estimated overhead cost. Second column. In the third column is total expected activity. That is the total. Meaning you add the total from DVD and CD. And you get 500,000 direct labor hours. So that activity unit and the estimated cost, you have to divide and you will get 1.6. Okay, get your calculator. Put in 800,000 in your calculator and then divide it by 500,000. The answer would be 1.6. And that answer is actually $1.6 per direct labor hours. Okay. So similarly, for number 2, machine related, the amount or the cost of overhead is 2,100,000. Divide that by the total expected activity, which is 1 million. Therefore, that is $2.1 per machine hours. Okay, per machine hours. Okay, the third one is machine setup. $1,600,000 cost divided by 4,000 setup. Therefore, that is $400 per setup. Okay. What about the fourth one? Production orders. $3,150,000 divided by 1,200 orders. Therefore, the answer is Look at your calculator. Answer should be $2,625 per order. Okay, the fifth one is parts administration, which have the total cost of $350,000 divided by 700 parts. How many parts? There are 700. If you divide, use your calculator, the result would be $500 per part, per type of part or per part type. Okay. And the last one, general factory, with a cost of total 2 million divided by total machine hours 1 million. So 2 million divided by 1 million, that is equal to $2 per machine hours. Okay, any question? Any question? If you have any question with regards to the computation, you can use our comment box below. Use our comment box below and try to ask your question. You can also use our GC, official GC, to relay your question. So you can do it repeatedly so that you gain practice. You have to gain practice. That is the difference of engineering to our technician and technologists. Engineers do it repeatedly. So we have to repeat and repeat so that we can do it naturally later on. Okay. We have what? Muscle memory. So using the new activity rates, let's assign overhead to the two products based on expected activity. So we now have the activity rates as computed. So you can assign these activity rates to either DVD and CD. So for example, let us assign, what about for DVD? So you can take a look, the proportion of DVD here and CD. Okay. You just have to multiply. Okay. So I will have an example. For example, labor related, that is number one, no? Labor related. And if you look at DVD, labor related, that is 100,000. If you look at CD, that is 400,000. That's why, if you can remember, the total is 500,000. Okay. So in order to get the total cost for DVD, total labor cost for DVD, you have to multiply 100,000 by this amount, 1.6. 1.6 times 100,000. That's 1.6. That is what? 160,000. 160,000. So the cost of labor for DVD is lower because it only costs 160,000. What about for CD? For CD, 1.6 times 4. 1.6 times 4, that is what? 6 times 4 is 24. So 640. 640. For CD, the labor-related cost is $640,000. So because that is what? 400 times 1.6. Get your calculator. Put 1.6 in your calculator. 1.6 times 400,000 here. The answer would be 640. Okay, $640,000. That is in terms of dollars. And if you compute, write down the $640,000, and then compute your calculator. Put again 1.6 times 100,000 like this here. 1.6 times 100,000. The answer is 160,000. So 160,000 plus 160,000 plus 640,000. That is equal to 800,000. What do you mean 800,000? That is the total here. That's why it is important to compute the rate, because it is easier to use the rate. We just have to multiply. Okay? We just have to multiply. If we are asked by somebody, what is the total cost for what? What is the total cost for DVD General Factory Machine Hour? What is the total cost? How much? The total for both DVD and CD is 2 million. But what about for DVD alone? Okay, for DVD alone. Let us use the computation here. General Factory, the rate is $2. The rate is 2. Therefore, 2 times what? We are being asked under DVD. 2 times 300, that is 600. So the cost, the General Factory Machine Hour cost for DVD is $600,000. What about for CD? 7. The computed is 2. So 2 times 7, that is $1,400,000. Okay, so that's big cost on 1,400,000. 1,400,000 plus 600, that is equal to 2 million. Okay, so do it all. Do it all of this 6 and all of the 6. Compute all the cost, the total cost for each of the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are what? 12 answers. Compute all of this, and that is the answer to the question below. This one. Using the new activity rates, let's assign overhead to the 2 products based upon the expected activity. So this is the activity rate. Okay. Expected activity is the given data on the previous table. This is the expected activity here. Expected activity for DVD, expected activity for CD. So just multiply. Okay, so very easy. So any question, you have to use your calculator. Practice. And I will get back on your questions. So again, this is Dr. DrEYPEI, preaching engineering for nation building.